Have you ever stopped to think about what really matters to you when it comes to money? With the rush of everyday life and the constant bombardment of stimuli to consume, we often spend without realizing it. And it's not just about spending, but about spending on things that, in the end, don't bring us lasting satisfaction or security. Have you ever thought about what you're buying and how it impacts your life in the long term? Stoic philosophy teaches us to focus on the essential and eliminate the superfluous. In times of excessive consumption, it is easier than ever to get lost on this path. However, true wealth is not in the amount of things we own, but in our ability to make conscious choices and live a balanced life. It is about having control, not over money, but over our own actions. So what have you been doing with your money? Are you unwittingly wasting resources that could be used more wisely and that could help you achieve your life goals? Today, I want to share 15 ways you're probably wasting your money and how you can change that by applying simple principles of discipline and reflection. Let's start noticing these expenses and work to redirect them in ways that are more aligned with what really matters to you. 1. Forgotten subscriptions. Monthly subscriptions may seem harmless, but over time, they can become a huge waste of money. Streaming services, productivity apps, digital magazines, and even software packages are often paid for without critically analyzing the actual usefulness of these products. Often we start out subscribing for a new and exciting experience, but over time, we lose interest or simply forget to use them. Stoicism teaches us to seek simplicity and to avoid wasting energy and resources on things that do not add significant value to us. Living efficiently is a practice that goes beyond finances. It is about using what we have consciously, focusing on what truly brings value to our lives. To start, review your subscriptions. Ask yourself, do I really use this service, or am I paying for something that is no longer relevant to me? If the answer is no, it's time to cancel and save money. Also, before purchasing a new subscription, reevaluate whether you really need it. Adopting a more conscious lifestyle that is free from excess can be the key to financial control and a sense of peace of mind. Finally, constant reflection on what we are spending allows us to apply the concept of self-control. By realizing where money is being spent unnecessarily, we can act more rationally, avoiding waste and generating greater financial freedom. This is one of the pillars of Stoicism, not being a slave to our immediate desires but living with discernment and balance. 2. Impulse purchases. Impulsive buying is one of the biggest money losers, often fueled by advertising and the desire for instant gratification. In a society where we are constantly bombarded with ads and offers, it is difficult to resist the temptation to buy something we did not plan on buying. Impulse buying, however, is often a waste of money, especially when we buy items that are not essential to our lives or that do not bring real value in the long term. Stoicism, with its emphasis on reason and self-control, offers a valuable perspective on how we can resist these urges. Stoics believe that true control lies in mastering our desires, not being mastered by them. This means that before making any purchase, we should stop and consider, is this desire really necessary for my life, or is it just a temporary distraction? A useful practice for avoiding impulse buying is the 30-day test. Whenever you feel the temptation to buy something you didn't plan on buying, put off the decision for 30 days. During this time, ask yourself if you still feel the same need, or if the desire has faded. Often, the gratification of the moment quickly dissipates, and the purchase that seemed urgent becomes irrelevant. By adopting this mindset, we can replace impulsive spending with wiser financial choices that align with our long-term goals. This doesn't mean living in deprivation, but rather making more conscious choices based on what really matters. This approach not only saves money, but also provides greater peace of mind. 3. Eating out frequently. Eating out is one of the biggest sources of financial waste for many people. While it's a convenient and often socially stimulating option, eating out is considerably more expensive than cooking at home. Even a simple lunch at a restaurant or ordering takeout can cost significantly more than preparing the same meal at home. If this becomes a habit, the costs can add up significantly. In the Stoic context, self-sufficiency and discipline play important roles. The Stoic seeks to live simply, without indulging in excess or momentary convenience. Eating out frequently is an example of how we can be carried away by the pursuit of instant pleasure, without reflecting on the long-term financial consequences. Cooking at home not only saves you money, but it also gives you the opportunity to be more mindful and present in your food choices. Preparing your own food means you have full control over the ingredients, which can lead to healthier choices and, ultimately, less medical expenses in the future. Additionally, by adopting the practice of cooking more at home, you develop skills and habits that reinforce self-control and simplicity, two fundamental principles of Stoicism. This doesn't mean completely eliminating going out to restaurants or social gatherings, but rather being more mindful of your choices and how they impact both your financial and physical health. 4. Lack of financial planning. Living without proper financial planning is like sailing without a map. You may reach your destination, but you'll end up getting lost along the way. Financial planning isn't just about making a budget, it's about being clear about your financial goals and the actions you need to take to achieve them. If you don't know where you're going with your money, it's all too easy to end up spending unnecessarily, which can lead to debt or an uncertain retirement. Stoicism teaches us that reason should always guide our actions, and this includes how we handle money. A Stoic is disciplined and knows that true freedom comes from being able to control one's finances and make informed decisions. Rather than waiting for financial life to happen, sound financial planning allows us to take control of the situation. Start with a detailed budget. Record all of your income and expenses, categorizing your spending according to priority. Ask yourself, is this expense necessary or is it just a momentary distraction? Also, set clear financial goals, such as saving for an emergency fund or investing for the future. These goals will act as a compass to help you stay focused. Financial planning is a powerful tool that can transform your financial life. When you have a plan, you are better prepared to face unexpected events and make decisions that are in line with your long-term goals. Stoicism teaches that through reflection and discipline, we can achieve financial peace of mind. If you identify with this reflection and feel that it is the right time to start making positive changes in your financial life, I invite you to subscribe to the channel here. 5. Invest in gadgets and technology constantly. In an increasingly digital world, it's easy to be tempted to upgrade your gadgets and tech devices with each new release. Smartphones, laptops, smartwatches, tech products seem to evolve at an alarming rate, and we're constantly encouraged to buy the newest or best. However, this behavior can represent a huge waste of money, especially when we buy something unnecessary or when the item we already own is still in good condition. Stoicism teaches that true value lies not in what we own, but in what we are able to do with what we already have. The constant consumption of new gadgets often reflects not a real need, but rather a search for instant gratification. The desire to own the latest and greatest can distract us from what really matters, such as the quality of our relationships and building a solid financial future. A more rational approach aligned with Stoic principles would be to focus on what really makes sense for your needs and stop following the cycle of impulse buying. Ask yourself, does this gadget really help me be more productive or efficient? Am I buying it because I really need it or because I'm just indulging in the desire to have the latest thing? By adopting this mindset, we can save a considerable amount of money and, more importantly, begin to live more simply, with less attachment to material possessions. True financial freedom comes from our ability to make choices based on what is needed, rather than what is needed. 6. Paying high interest on debt. One of the biggest financial mistakes we can make is carrying high-interest debt, such as credit card debt or personal loans. Although these debts are sometimes unavoidable, it is essential to take conscious action to eliminate them as quickly as possible, as interest can eat away at a good portion of your income. Stoicism teaches us to have self-control and avoid the pitfalls of excessive consumption. Living prudently and with discipline also means being cautious about financial risks, such as high interest rates. When you pay high interest, you are essentially working for your creditors and not for your own financial goals. Instead of investing your money wisely or saving for the future, you are wasting your resources on something that offers no return. The Stoic knows that true wealth comes from preserving and multiplying your resources, not from needlessly losing them due to debt. The first step you should take is to avoid taking on more debt. Then, focus on paying off your existing debts, starting with those with the highest interest rates. If possible, look for more advantageous alternatives, such as transferring balances to cards with lower interest rates or loans with lower interest rates. By paying off your debts in a planned and disciplined manner, you not only free yourself from financial burdens, but you also gain more control over your life. The Stoic knows that true freedom is achieved when we free ourselves from the chains of consumption and debt. Instead of postponing the solution, We need to act with determination and focus to achieve a more peaceful and prosperous financial future. 7. Living beyond your means. We often try to maintain a lifestyle that is beyond our financial means, whether it's due to social pressure, a desire for status, or simply the urge to live like everyone else. We end up spending more than we earn. This can include living in a larger place than we need, buying designer clothes and accessories, or going out to expensive restaurants too often. This type of behavior is deeply at odds with Stoic philosophy, which teaches us to seek simplicity and live with what we truly need. The Stoic sees value in moderation and self-sufficiency, and lives in alignment with reality, not external expectations. By living beyond our means, we risk going into debt and losing the freedom that comes with financial security. Instead of being a slave to appearances and social comparison, we should adopt a simpler approach that focuses on what truly brings us satisfaction. One way to start changing this is to take a realistic look at your lifestyle and understand where you can cut costs without sacrificing what really matters. This could mean moving to a more affordable location, buying fewer luxury items, and generally focusing on living more simply. Instead of living to impress others, you'll be creating a lifestyle that aligns with your own values. Living within your means does not mean giving up a comfortable life, but rather embracing the freedom that comes from financial independence and the awareness that what really matters is not what we have, but what we do with what we have. 8. Excessive insurance. Insurance is essential to ensure that you are protected in case of unforeseen events, but many people end up paying for coverage that they do not need or that is excessive for their real needs. Whether it is health, car, or life insurance, excess coverage can mean a waste of money since you are paying for something that may never be used. Stoicism, with its focus on moderation and what is essential, teaches us that we should live consciously, evaluating what we really need. When it comes to insurance, it's important to critically analyze your needs and choose the coverage that truly makes sense for your lifestyle and financial situation. Instead of being swayed by offers that try to sell you more than you need, be rational and calmly evaluate what you really need. One way to apply Stoicism here is to start by understanding the coverages you have and asking yourself, are these policies really useful, or am I just paying for convenience? By reviewing and choosing only what's essential, you can save money and put it toward more important areas like investing for your future or building an emergency fund. The goal is not to give up the necessary protection, but to find a balance between security and economy without falling into the trap of excess. 9. Lack of an emergency fund. Having an emergency fund is one of the most important financial practices, yet many people overlook its importance. Life is full of unexpected events, and without a financial cushion, you may be forced to make impulsive financial decisions in times of crisis, such as taking out loans or using your credit card. Stoicism teaches us that we must be prepared for life's challenges, and that true freedom comes from emotional and financial security. It's not about avoiding problems, but about being prepared to face them. Having an emergency fund gives you the peace of mind of knowing that you have funds available if something unexpected happens. Ideally, this fund should cover 3 to 6 months of your essential expenses. To build this fund, you need to start with discipline, setting aside a monthly amount that you will set aside exclusively for it. The process of creating an emergency fund is a practical way to apply the principles of Stoicism to your financial life. It represents preparing for the unexpected and seeking security without relying on debt or external solutions. By ensuring this financial security, you gain more control over your life and can face adversity with more calm and confidence. If you are enjoying this reflection and feel that it can help other people too, leave a like. This motivates me to continue bringing more content that really makes a difference in your financial life. 10. Buying clothes and accessories that we don't use. We all have closets full of clothes and accessories that we buy on impulse but never wear. The idea that we need more clothes to be more interesting or trendy often leads us to overconsume. This behavior reflects an attachment to material things, appearance, and the search for social approval, traits that run counter to the principles of Stoicism, which teaches us to value simplicity and self-sufficiency. Over time, unused clothes and accessories take up space, add no value to our lives, and most importantly, represent a financial loss. The value you paid for these items is lost if they are not contributing to your life in a practical way. Stoicism invites us to reflect, do I really need this? Will it help me achieve my life goals? Or is it just an attempt to satisfy a momentary desire? One solution to this problem is to start adopting a more conscious and practical mindset when it comes to your purchases. Before you buy a piece of clothing or accessory, ask yourself if it fits into your lifestyle and if you'll actually wear it. Also, adopt the principle of quality over quantity. Investing in versatile, durable pieces that you'll actually wear is a way to keep things simple without sacrificing style. If you already have items that you no longer use, consider donating, selling, or trading them. Not only will this free up space, but it will also help someone in real need. By taking this more disciplined approach, you'll be saving money and acting in accordance with Stoic principles of moderation and self-sufficiency. 11. Waste of energy and resources. Wasting energy, water, and other resources is not only bad for the environment, but also for your wallet. Many of us overlook the financial impact that small everyday wastes can have, such as leaving lights on when they're not being used, appliances on standby, or taking excessively long showers. These habits can significantly increase your energy and water bills without providing any real benefits. Stoicism teaches us to live efficiently, without excess, and this includes the conscious use of resources. Every act of waste, no matter how small, represents a lack of control over what we have at our disposal. The pursuit of simplicity and moderation applies directly to how we use our resources. It is not about deprivation, but about acting wisely to avoid uselessness and waste. One simple way to start saving money is to do regular home audits to identify where you're spending more than you need to. This could include replacing light bulbs with more energy-efficient models, turning off electronic devices when not in use, and using water more wisely. Additionally, invest in technology that helps you monitor and reduce your consumption, such as programmable thermostats and efficient irrigation systems. The financial impact of wasting resources can be considerable, but the real benefit comes from living a more balanced life, aligned with the principles of efficiency and self-control that Stoicism preaches. 12. Investing without understanding. Investing without understanding what you're doing is one of the most dangerous ways to waste money. Many people are tempted to invest in stocks, cryptocurrencies, or other assets because everyone else is doing it, or because a friend or influencer told them it's a good opportunity. However, this can lead to significant losses because without solid knowledge, investing becomes more of a gamble than a strategic decision. Stoicism preaches wisdom as one of the pillars of true freedom. Investing without understanding is acting on impulse, without the reason and reflection that a Stoic advocates. True financial control comes from knowledge and understanding of the choices we make, especially when it comes to something as important as our money. Before making any investment, take the time to research and understand the options available to you. Research the assets you are interested in, understand the risks involved, and seek financial advice if necessary. Knowledge is key to making informed investments that not only protect your money, but also provide opportunities for sustainable growth. Furthermore, Stoicism teaches us to control our emotions. The financial market can be volatile, and acting out of fear or greed can lead to impulsive decisions that harm our financial health. By having a clear understanding and a long-term vision, you will be able to invest in a more balanced and rational way, achieving the desired results with greater security and control. 13. Attachment to expensive brands. Brand attachment is a common trap that many of us fall into, especially when society teaches us that the value of something lies in its name or status. We often pay a much higher price for products simply because they are from a famous brand, even when similar quality alternatives are available at more affordable prices. This behavior reflects a desire for external approval, a desire that keeps us fixated on consumption rather than internal satisfaction. Stoicism teaches us that the value of an object is not in its brand, but in what it truly represents and in the use we make of it. A Stoic does not allow himself to be carried away by the incessant search for status or the need to impress others with what he has. He seeks wisdom, simplicity, and peace of mind, without depending on the possession of material goods to define his happiness or self-esteem. To avoid this waste of money, start questioning the true value of a brand before you buy. Ask yourself if the higher price actually reflects a significant benefit, or if you're simply paying for the name. Often, smaller, more affordable brands offer excellent quality products for a fraction of the price. Taking this approach can not only save you money, but also give you more clarity about what really matters in your life. By freeing yourself from the social pressure to buy expensive branded products, you'll move closer to true financial and emotional freedom. 14. Not seeking proper financial advice. Many people try to manage their finances on their own, without seeking help from an expert, and this can be a big mistake. In a complex financial world, it is essential to have the help of qualified professionals, such as financial planners or investment advisors, who can guide you in making the best decisions for your profile. Stoicism teaches us that wisdom is an important virtue, and this includes the wisdom to seek help when necessary. The risk of not seeking proper advice is that you may make decisions based on assumptions or what you think is best, but without having enough knowledge to understand the long-term consequences. Consulting an expert can be an investment in your peace of mind and your financial future. The first step you can take is to research and find professionals who share your values and who have an approach focused on education and sustainable growth. By seeking financial advice, you are not only avoiding mistakes, but also gaining the wisdom you need to make more informed decisions. The Stoic would not hesitate to seek expert guidance when necessary, knowing that this is part of his journey towards self-sufficiency and true freedom. 15. Not taking advantage of discounts strategically. Discounts can be a great way to save money, but we often get carried away by deals that we don't really need. The common behavior is that we see a sale, get excited about the idea of saving money, and buy something we wouldn't otherwise buy. This is one of the most subtle mistakes that can lead to financial waste. Impulse buying, even when there's a good deal. Stoicism teaches us that we should seek moderation and reason in all our actions. When it comes to discounts, it is important to evaluate whether the purchase is really necessary, or if we are just being seduced by the offer. The real goal should not be to accumulate more things, but rather to stay focused on what brings real value to our lives. A useful strategy is to apply the 30-day test mentioned earlier. If a discount seems attractive, postpone the purchase for a month. During this time, see if you still feel the same need to buy the item. More often than not, the desire disappears, and the offer that seemed unmissable ends up becoming irrelevant. By adopting this mindset of questioning your purchases and evaluating discounts more carefully, you will be making financial decisions that are more aligned with your goals, rather than immediate gratification. This is living more consciously, based on the principles of Stoicism. I would love to hear what you think about all this. Which of these attitudes have you noticed in your life or perhaps even overcome? Share them in the comments, because sharing experiences is one of the best ways for us to grow together. Who knows? Your story might inspire someone to take the first step towards change. As we near the end, I want to leave you with a thought. At the end of the day, what really matters is not how much you earn, but how you choose to live. Every financial decision we make reflects our commitment to what we truly value. If today you feel overwhelmed by past mistakes, know that there is always time to start over. True wealth comes from self-control, wisdom, and simplicity. And by applying these principles, you begin to build not only a more solid financial life, but a fuller and more balanced life. I want to thank you for taking the time to reflect with me today. If you felt inspired and want to continue this journey of learning and transformation, come back to the channel whenever you need more tips and teachings. Don't forget to activate the bell so you don't miss any new content. Together, we will continue to seek more control, more wisdom, and more freedom. Until next time.